Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 63 and actually 63 and 64. So for the 27th and 28th of April. Just before I start, there's this FSB guy, Federal Shadow Ban guy from YouTube. He has a face that looks like a like button. He accused me to be a neo-Nazi. So can you help me punch him in the face? Yes, his face, the one that looked like a like button. Punch him very hard. So now let's start. Let's start with missile strikes. So in the previous summary, I mentioned that the Russian strikes the bridge at Zatoka, which is southwest of Odessa, which is this bridge, this very beautiful bridge here. The Russians actually struck it a second time because the first time round, the bridge did not actually disable the railway track, according to the photos that that is leaked or shown around the world. So they actually attacked it a second time to make sure that they actually destroy that railway bridge. So I haven't seen the result, I think, or at least I've forgotten if I have saw it. At Zaporizhzhia, the Russia strikes a reportedly training center inside a aluminium plant. So according to the Russians, they say that up to 1,500 soldiers is actually training there, or rather in its territory, under the training of 60 British mercenary as well as SAS troops. So whatever this information is correct or not, in the end they concluded that by the Russians that 523 of them is killed with 347 wounded. So seems like a very major strike. This strike is reported to be on the April 26th at 11 a.m. So I figured out to be around here. So it's not really in this part, it's actually here. But I might be wrong. But it's not important because even all this information given by the Russian side might not even be accurate. It might be just be an empty building. So that's that. The Russians also strike a railway station at Fastiv, which is at the southwest of Kiev. So according to this tweet, the Russian forces conducted 3 missile strikes at Fastov, a critical railway road junction near Kiev. So this is the one. You can see that the railway actually splits into multiple direction. So this is actually a major one. So major junction. So that's why they say this is junction. Three missiles hit to destroy this junction. Not sure how much this means to the railway connectivity. So because I'm not tracking the railway connectivity, so I'm not too sure about that. So in terms of on the espionage front of sort, or the attack into Russia thing, there is a Bayraktar TV2 shot down over Voronezh. So they were shot down by air defense all the way at Voronezh city. So they actually have some of the wreckage and stuff like this. So they say that during the dawn time, a Ukrainian drone actually penetrated Russia and then shot down over Voronezh, 180 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border. So another tweet or information, actually this telegram says that the Ukrainians are using drones as suicide drones. Not too sure is this sarcasm or actually something that is for real. So let's fact check. 180 kilometers is actually from the nearest point, which I don't think they flew from there. So I believe they actually flew over 200-300 kilometers at least for this TB2 to fly over to Voronezh. Not sure what's the target there. 2 Russian citizens are arrested in Belgorod by the Federal Shadow Band Unit, FSB. So they prevented a sabotage at a transport facility in Belgorod. So they detained 2 of them. They are actually citizens of Russia Federation. So they are supporters of the Ukrainian Northeast. So reportedly confessing. So that's in Belgorod. And then there's another one in Simferopol, which is in Crimea. So the Federal Shadow Band Unit prevented a terrorist attack at a shopping and entertainment complex in Simferopol, where a resident of Crimea was preparing an explosion and arson. Arson is a fire, to start a fire. He was detained. So he was acting, so he was a former Ukrainian Marine and acting on the order of the Ukrainian troops, reportedly from the Azov Regiment, and IEDs with striking elements and paraphernalia of Ukrainian National Formation Forces. So yeah, so he owned some Ukrainian stuff, and IED striking elements. Not fully sure what this is supposed to mean. So anyway, so that's 3 dog year terrorists captured. So that's that. And then we have this Transnistria issue. If you have watched the video on the Transnistria, which I bet most of you didn't because I saw the viewership, I'm so disappointed with you guys. So apparently I reported in the previous summary that there's a RPG attack in the city of Tiraspol. So apparently that wasn't the only attack that happened on that day in Transnistria. So there was actually a UAV that flew into the Tiraspol and actually dropped some maybe bombs or maybe mortars or something from a drone onto the airbase here. I personally do not think there is any usable aircraft here, or maybe no real combat modern combat aircraft that is actually based here, because I don't think the Russians actually use this airbase as to place any of its main frontline fighters and bombers. Like helicopters is possible, and then there's also an explosion reported at a military unit, which I believe is this military base. You can actually see the vehicles, the trucks, and some maybe armored vehicles. So they say that according to the information on this news, another explosion hit the village of Pakani on the same day, according to the Security Council of Transnistria. So no other information is given. So they are a bit secretive, or maybe they just don't know what the hell happened. Moving further north, there is the explosion at Mayat. Mayat is this Mayat here, this village here, and so 2 powerful, so two big antennas were actually destroyed. One megawatt and another 1/2 megawatt. So both belongs to the Russian Federation. So no one is injured. So if I scroll in, you can actually see there's one major kind of antenna thingy here, and then there's actually another bigger array of antennas around here. So these are the one that got destroyed, I believe, because the photos that I saw is actually the Grigoriopol transmitters. So they are actually radio towers, and for radio communications, I'm not sure what kind of era of communication is that. So, and all the way further up north at Kobasna, there is a UAV spotted flying over Kobasna. So according to the Interior Ministry of Transnistria, they said that several drones were detected flying over the village of Kobasna overnight, and they specifically say that they have came in from Ukraine. And then there is actually some shelling at Kobasna from Stanislavka. So this Kobasna is a bit significant because of this military depot, this ammunition and weapon depot here, Disposito Militar de la Kopasna. So this according to the comments I saw on the YouTube on the original report of this, they say that this is actually multi-stories deep, and actually is much bigger than the one at in Ukraine. I suddenly cannot remember the name of the city. So anyway, so Balaklia, yeah, this is actually bigger than the one at Balaklia. Despite the Balaklia one seems to carry have a bigger area, but I heard the YouTube comments actually mentioned to me, you guys mentioned to me that it's actually a multi-story and deeper, and actually contain 10 years worth of ammunition, 10 years war amount of ammunition. So that sounds very ridiculous to me. Sounds too much. So these attacks kind of freaked out everyone, and Moldova's president convened an emergency meeting due to all this incident. And also within Transnistria itself, the terrorist alert levels is raised to red. And then the president, the Russian side, actually the Russia side, they try to calm down the situation, and Transnistria president also denied accusations that Transnistria is now currently carrying out mobilization. But then on Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, insisted that this is actually Russia trying to destabilize the situation in Transnistria. So they basically saying that all this explosion and attacks is by the Russians, creating a false flag, and that the Ukrainian army is ready for any possible escalation by the Russian troops in Transnistria. So they claim that the goal of these attacks by Russia themselves are obvious, is to destabilize the situation, to threaten Moldova, and to show that if Moldova supports Ukraine, then there will be certain steps taken. So I find that a bit too self-centered. Not everything is about Ukraine, and I don't think the Russians is so stupid to destroy their own stuff. So, and anyway, if a war breaks out in Transnistria, there's actually no way of the Russians to reinforce the people here, because the Ukrainian air defense would be able to cover the entire of Transnistria. No planes will be able to fly in. No land route is able to go to Transnistria because Moldova itself is landlocked, and Romania is a NATO country. They won't allow Russian troops to go through. Of course, the entire coast of Odessa here is there's naval mines, and there's Ukrainian troops around here. So there is no clear way on how the Russians is going to reach Transnistria. Transnistria is on their own. I believe they have maybe 20,000 troops at max, and they have 1,200 Russian peacekeepers over there, and hardly enough to deal with the mass mobilized troops that the Ukrainians have, especially with all the reinforcement in terms of heavy equipments like tank, armor, and artillery from the west. So Transnistria is on their own as far as I'm concerned. So this situation freaks out Transnistria and Moldova, and they actually met at Venitsa. According in the Google map, the place is actually called Venita. Maybe T with a tail below is called S. So basically Venitsa. So the representative of Chisinau is actually Moldova's capital, and Tiraspol, which is the Transnistria's capital, they meet at Venitsa to discuss the aggravation of the situation in the region. So it's very interesting because both of them kind of own this territory, and there's an aggravation of situation which both of them have no interest in. So it is very kind of funny, like the husband and wife try to talk it out and say, why are we quarreling, but they are not quarreling, and then no, because someone else is saying that they are quarreling. So it's kind of a weird situation. Then we receive information, or rather the information is actually everywhere, that the Ukrainian media is reporting that there's a military exercise being announced in Kharkiv or Podilsk. Podilsk is the modern name, and that's along the Transnistria border, which is this place, Podilsk. So I believe it's not in the city, but it's in the area of Podilsk. So a military exercise in the middle of a war. So that is kind of very suspicious, and it's actually so close to Kopasna, where the massive ammo depot lies. So a lot of the Russian analysts are saying that this exercise here is actually excuse to actually eventually launch a military attack at Kopasna to actually capture this ammo depot, so that they can get all the artillery shells and bullets, weapons, or whatever that they need, because these are all Soviet era weapons and ammunition which the Ukrainians can use because they are running low on ammunition. So this is a perfect place for them to actually restock their ammunition. And Transnistria really can't really do much against Ukrainian military, because Transnistria is really a small place. They got a very rather small population, and their military haven't been fighting for a very, very long time. So I don't think they are in fighting condition. And let me show you something here. So Transnistria. So they in 2015 their population is 475,000, and they have mass unemployment issue because a massive majority of the people have left. In fact, the exodus is so bad that in 2015 alone, which is around this time where they did this calculation, 15% of the population actually left the country to work overseas. So the people that is left behind are mostly the old people and the young people, children. So Transnistria is really not in a state to fight a war, and so does Moldova, because Moldova themselves say that they don't really have a proper military to actually fight any kind of war. And they claim that there is no Romanian troops within Moldova to calm down the situation. But it seems like everyone want to just heat up the situation and make this place explode, except for the Russians, for obvious reasons, because there's no way they can reinforce this area. So anyway, moving on to the Mykolaiv Front. So at the Mykolaiv Front, there is this counter-offensive. Some people claim that this is, I term it wrongly. They say this is offensive. This is not counter-offensive. It is a counter-offensive because the Ukrainians actually were attacking just 1-2 days ago. So this is a counter-offensive. And previously, the Ukrainians have captured Kaselivka, and then they almost captured Klapaya. However, the Russians actually fought back, and they have captured Klapaya, which was under the previous summary. It's actually under the Russian forces. But since then, there was an attack by the Ukrainians, which captured Klapaya, and then the Russians fought back and recaptured Klapaya. So it'll be confusing, the change of hands of this village. And the Russians also captured Kaselivka, Mykolaiv, as well as Tarishke. So now the fighting is at Nova Zoria. So the situation now is unknown on the Nova Zoria. An update about the situation at Halisinov or Galisinovo. So according to one of the viewer, Maxim Abrahamian, he commented in the comments that as far as he knows, because he lives in Mykolaiv and actually works at Limani, he has to go past there every day. So every day they pass through with no problem. So he lives in Mykolaiv, which is Mykolaiv. They say that the front is now 10 kilometers away. So they say that for this place, he's very sure that there's no Russian army there because he worked for an electrical company. and their employees drove through Galicinovka to Limani is here, without problem. So thanks to his verification, we have now exclusive intel that there's no more Russian troops in this position. So that clears up for us. So thank you so much for the information. And and then Alexandrivka previously was captured by the Russians, but somehow information from Ukraine map is that Alexandrivka is now partially Ukrainian and no longer under full Russian control, which means that there is actually fighting at Alexandrivka. So no further information about this. This is actually the latest information on Alexandrivka. So the capture is now invalidated again, and then there's fighting again here. So a bit unusual because the Russians push up from this direction. For the Ukrainians to actually have a counter offensive this way is a bit weird, but I will just report it and we can always invalidate the information if it's wrong later. So this is the Mykolaiv Front. No changes at the Kryvyi Rih Front. And moving on to the Zaporizhzhia Line. There is no information or changes to the front line here. I haven't seen anything about the 40-kilometer drive by the Ukrainians towards Mariupol. So I think that's as good as dead, that rumor. And then fighting is reported at Neshkushny, at Verivmivka, as well as at Velika Novoselka. So the fighting is now around here. It looks like the Russians are very determined to capture Velika Novoselka. And you can't blame them because this is a very important transport hub. You can see the number of roads spanning out from this city. So, but the information coming out from this area is really sparse. So it's really hard to tell what is actually happening in this front line here. So there is no change in the Donetsk Front here in the east. In fact, the entire Donetsk Front, there's actually no much changes. There's actually a video that you can see is actually a great bombardment at Marinka. So later you will see that there is actually bombardment around this region here. So let me show you. So you can see this is actually the village area that I just showed you. So you can see the great bombardment. Let's not play the music, if not later I got demonetized. And you can see the great bombardment everywhere. So apparently, according to the caption, was that there is actually Ukrainian forces dug in around this area, and this is why they actually have this massive artillery strike on this position. So that's that. So hope you are happy with the video because so many of you are commenting that I should add some videos. So, but I don't want to drag on the video too long. So, moving south of Donetsk and Mariupol, I have seen information of military reporters shooting footages here in this location, and a few days earlier they were at this location. So this helps us to validate that this entire area here has been captured by the Russian or Donetsk People's Republic forces. So as per usual, any media report for civilian media is 2 kilometers, and for military reporters is around 1 kilometer, or if they are in the front line is around 500 meters. So this is a 1 kilometer radius. So, and plus the one that they shot a few days ago, this covers the entire area of this part, which I call it northern Azovstal. But this is actually not called Azovstal, but it's also not called Ilyich. Illich is this area. I saw some of the comment telling me that this is Illich. I'm sorry, this is Illich. It's a much bigger place than Azovstal. This is not Illich. So let me show you what is the real name of this area. So this is the proper, like the colloquial map of Mariupol. So you can see all these names, the 5 Borov, the Gurov Park, all these names, the aerodrome, Novi Block. I can tell you, you can't find all these names in Google Map, but this is the names used by the locals living there. So this is the map that I reference when I'm trying to find information in Mariupol, because sometimes when they report on situations inside Mariupol, they are using all these names, like, you know, Sloboka. Then sometimes they say Nedionovka. So these are the names that they use, like Liapino in the much earlier in the war. So this area is just now where I mentioned that the Russian forces has captured. Is actually Mykolaiv factory, Stroymesh factory, steel design factory, and maybe even the ZIM factory. So this is actually Mykolaiv Stroymesh and steel design factory. Is actually not Azovstal, but neither is it Illich. Illich is this. This is Illich, and this small part is Illich. So Illich is a massive place with a little smaller part around here. I call this Azovstal, northern Azovstal, because Azovstal is here. It's easier for you to relate, but the real name is actually Mykolaiv, Stroymesh, and ZIM. This is Azovstal. So if you come back to the map, this is the region that is cleared, and then this is Azovstal. So hope I clear up the locations. So don't go to the comments and tell me this is Illich, which is ridiculous. So we also have confirmation that the railway station finally is captured. Yay! So I have hold up this place for so long because I believe that it's impossible that no journalist will actually visit the railway station, and I am correct. So the Izvestia TV channel actually sent their correspondent to the railway station. So this information is given to me thankfully from one of you guys, the viewers, and so there is a filming at the railway station here, and they actually go and check it out, which is actually this information I did not find this. It's actually from one of the viewers who emailed me after seeing the Mariupol report just hours ago. So thank you so much for the information, and I would love to show you the video of what it looks like now currently in in the railway station. So let me go to this one, and let me show you. So this is a drone footage from this TV station. They actually sent out their own drones, and they actually tried to capture the overall picture of the train station. So you can see everything have burnt. That's why you can see all the rusted look on all these trains. And you can see the train station is totally blown out. So looks like there is thermobaric bomb was used in this area to clear out the Ukrainian forces. So the one walking around just now you saw, I believe those are part of the TV crew or the soldiers that are protecting them. You see, maybe this guy or one of these guys is actually controlling the drone. No idea. So this area is cleared, and we have proof of it, which is what I have been looking for. So we can now be 100% sure that whatever Ukrainian forces that's left in Mariupol is now stuck within Azovstal. So we have officially cleared out everything else. So some people say that this should be obvious because the Ministry of Defense of Russia actually said that the only area that the defenders are left is in Azovstal. So this is actually a very good example that I do not trust the Ministry of Defense of Russia 100%. And so you guys can quit telling me that I'm pro-Russian or I'm pro-Ukrainian or whatever. No, I don't really care. I treat all information the same. So so the distinction between Mariupol and the rest of the front line is that the Ukrainian forces can be anywhere. You see, because this urban warfare, they can be hiding anywhere. So the to have journalists walking around is one of those biggest sign that the area has been cleared of their enemies. So that's why this is important for Mariupol. When we go to the other front line, it's less important because the front line changes very quickly, and we are not going to see journalists walking around in the front lines around all these places. So that's why it's less important for us to actually double and triple confirm the information. So the other place that I will be following closely will be in Popasna. So in Popasna, there was this war reporter reporting from here. So that helps us give us a 1 kilometer radius that this is the latest front line. So anyway, so Popasna is actually in Luhansk Front now. So we're actually in Luhansk Front. Nothing else from Donetsk already. So just in case you get confused. So we are in Luhansk Front and Popasna. This is the latest information. Because Popasna is the next Mariupol in a way. So I will be tracking street to street in the sense of where the fighting is or where the front lines is as much as I possibly can. So fighting continues at Orykhov and Nizhny. No progress and update on this place. There is a Sukhoi 24 shot down over Mykolaivka, which is this village around here. So this is a Ukrainian Sukhoi 24 reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. So I'm not really sure how many more Ukrainian aircraft they have, because so many of them have been shot down. So we shall see as I continue to report the shooting down of Ukrainian aircrafts. So we have also some updates in terms of the situation in Rubizhne. The Chechen, from the Russian sources, the Chechens actually show a map where are the remaining Ukrainian forces. So they actually being shown to be only at the Zaria chemical plants region. So the Zaria chemical plant, this is Zoria. So they're actually within this area. This is the final stand in Rubizhne for the Ukrainian forces. The rest of Rubizhne has been cleared. So it's only left within this region, and the Russian forces is trying to clear them out from this area. If once they are cleared, then we shall see maybe a quick withdrawal to Lysychansk. I have no idea whether this area is actually Russian, so just take a pinch of salt about this bulge here. So this is I just want to advise you about this. So there was this bulge. Let me show you the bulge. See the bulge? I have removed it. I have removed this entire bulge that covers below Horivka, Shpilivka, as well as Novodruzhsk, because it has been too long since they have captured this location, and there has been no action within this area. So I invalidated this position, so I drew it back here. So now these are now considered under the Ukrainian control. So the front line looks more sensible now. No more information about the forces that is 15 kilometers east of Yampil. And fighting continues at around Liman. So now we have drifted out of Luhansk Front. Now we are at Izyum Front. So there is a Bayraktar TB2 shot down over Liman, and there is actually a large column of Russian convoy of heavy equipment, basically means tank and armor vehicles, traveling through Svartov, towards the front line. So it's not clear where they're going, but my guess is that they will follow this highway all the way down here, because there's actually only small roads here. I mean, of course, they could also come to this direction. Yeah, so they can be going anywhere. So fighting at Liman. Then there's also fighting reported at Drobyshev. This one is from Twitter. The Russian forces have captured Kryvyi, and so Kryvyi is here. And then according to the same information, they say that the Russians is now moving towards Alexandrivka, and Alexandrivka is undefended as the Ukrainian forces have evacuated from this village. This is actually a very small village, but no idea about whether this is true. But at least we mark this capture first and see how it goes. And I have saw some other people's map, and some of them actually did not list Oskil under the Russians, which now give me doubts again whether Oskil is actually Russian or not. So now I put back the question mark and set Oskil to status unclear. So moving on to the south of Izyum, there's airstrike at Dohemke. Basically, these are attacks on weapon and ammunition depots at Dohemske, Peshkov, Vesely, and Chevron. So these are the 4 locations that they have you have airstrike. So this continues to show that the Russians are continuing to want to move out towards this direction. But there's no breakthrough in Peshkov, and Dohemke continues to be a really hard nut to crack for the Russians. Fighting is reported at Vinopilia as well as Dmitrivka. There is no breakthrough around here. Previously, we have reported Velika Komoshuvaka has been captured by the Russians. However, according to the Ukrainian operational information, they said that the occupiers, which is referring to the Russians, unsuccessfully tried to take control of the Velika Komishuvaka. So this creates a question mark here. Maybe the Russian information might be wrong, and then that they actually did not capture the village here. So we leave the question mark here, and let's see we have further information as we go on further, if the Russian managed to capture this or the Ukrainians able to push them out of this position. On the northwest of Izyum, the Russians have consolidated this area by capturing Shishafliv, Lekivka, as well as Ivanivka. So the quick succession of capture represents that there's actually no Ukrainian forces defending this position. So they are likely to have withdrawn away, because Balaklia is actually a stronghold of the Russians. Then they could at any time attack Husarivka and then close up this entire gap and encircle them. So I think it's not very wise to stay in this position, and they have already escaped probably through the forest into the Ukrainian territory in this region, where most of the forces are probably at. Further north, there is another Bayraktar TB2 gets shot down over Kolesnikivka. So this is actually this little village here. Which is really small. It got shot down over here. So there's a lot of TB2 that got shot down all over the place. So I wonder if they have any more stock, or maybe a new delivery from Turkey is on the way. And finally, we are now at Kharkiv Front. So at Kharkiv Front, there's a Mi-24, which is a Hind Ukrainian Mi-24. They got shot down over Shekavka Lozova. So Shekavka Lozova is around here. It is unclear if this is actually still under Russian control, because the Ukrainians have claimed to have captured Lizny, as well as captured Ruska Lozova. I did see, before I started this recording, I did see a Russian source in Telegram saying that the Russian forces have entered Ruska Lozova because there is fighting over there. So that sounds a little confusing. Maybe there's something wrong with the translation. So we're gonna keep a lookout for Ruska Lozova, because this information might be wrong. So because of this, very confident one-liner from the Russian Telegram. So, but anyway, we're gonna leave this here as Ukrainian control, just like all these previous position captured by the former offensive. We will leave it there until we can have a clearer and more decisive information and intel to say otherwise. The Ukrainians also captured Kutuzivka. So Kutuzivka is this city or village, this town here, which I have no idea where it ends and where it starts as compared to Momotov. So I just drew it like this. Kutu in Bahasa is actually in Malay or Indonesian is actually a insect or beetle. So I just found that a bit funny. So anyway, I think I covered everything. So this is the very rather long summary. So for the day of 63 and 64 for the 27th and 28th of April. So if you have not punched that FSB guy with the like button looking face, please punch him. And if you have not subscribed, do subscribe. Please help me grow this channel as much and as fast as we can. And I will see you in the next update.